Welcome to the VHF UHF channel, and I will give a little verdict after testing it for a little while. A lot of you have been asking me and waiting for this. The question, of course, that is mostly asked is this antenna worth buying for VHF listening? So this is the K180WLA. I purchased it as a wideband loop, magnetic loop antenna. It's an amplified antenna, and it of course has a bias T where you need to power the antenna. The shortwave side of things, I was not impressed because I get FM breakthrough from FM stations around Montreal, so it's kind of personally rather crappy on shortwave. That said, I think some of you that live in rural areas or areas with low, with like weaker FM stations around you might actually have some interesting shortwave, because if I position it to minimize the FM breakthrough, shortwave actually comes alive and it seems to work well in most of the spectrum. Now, here we are on the VHF UHF channel, so of course, how is it on VHF? It's rated to go up to 180 megahertz. And that, of course, is a side that made me kind of curious. My verdict on VHF is that it's actually not bad. It does well what it needs to do on the VHF range. I've listened to 6 meter FT8 and even single sideband hams. When sporadic E-skip happens, I listen to most VHF signals that I know of and that I listen to are quite strong. It seems to perform really well on VHF. You've seen some of my videos. I've been receiving satellites with it. It seems to do a nice job there too. What you need to keep in mind is that this is a very directional antenna. It's a loop, so you will need to position it well to have the signal strength of the different things you want to listen to. And on VHF, it might actually be a good idea to have this mounted with a rotor to be able to turn the antenna in different positions depending on what you're listening to. My verdict for the VHF range is that this is a nice loop. It works well. It does that job very well. It's not too big. So it's it's a decent antenna. It comes with almost everything, well, pretty much everything you need to have it installed, including the PVC pipe that you see here and the mounting brackets, everything. It's pretty cool. And if you're looking for something for VHF that works well, it's not very expensive, it does the job. Now remember, it goes to 180 megahertz. If you plan to use this higher than that, that's where it's going to be a little different. If you use this on, 400 megahertz, and actually I'm going to do some tests later today, because I've switched for, the input on my SDR Play RSPDX. I want to try to get some satellites in the 400 megahertz range with it. It still seems to say that it has some gain higher than 180 megahertz. It's just that they gave it a rating that ends at 180. That means it's kind of not really made to go higher than that. But I will be testing that out and giving a little more input and maybe another verdict for if you want to go to UHF range, for example. Would that work as an antenna? I think that's going to be nice and interesting to look at. But overall, I'm happy the VHF range, and what is saving this antenna for me giving it a really crappy review is that it might not work very well here for shortwave because of FM breakthrough, but it works really well on a VHF range, and on that range I'm very happy with it. So it could be something to consider if you're looking at something that you could buy to listen to that range. And if, like I said, you live in a quiet environment and want to add shortwave, it actually might be a decent performer as long as you are far from really strong FM radio stations. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.